The reason, Your Lordship, I can no longer be able to be in court and face you. There are serious allegations here, whereby you are accused number one. Before I can even accept the case of 636 to represent the accused 1 to 4, there has been harassment that I should not be part of this case. From the police, from the NPA. I came into this case knowing what will be the consequence. On the 28th of April, when I was arrested before your court, Your Lordship, that was a plan. And the plan was hatched in the office of the President, the number one office of the number one in the country. That I'm a problematic advocate. I'm interfering with a plan that has been hatched, that my client should take the responsibility of the murder of Senzo Meyiwa, despite the fact that they were innocent.
A shocker announcement, Advocate Malesela Teffo throwing in the towel, citing harassment from the start of his involvement in this trial. So what happened before, what we saw had not been the first exchange between himself and the presiding officer over the court's accusations that Advocate Teffo was wasting the court's time. It again came to tension when the court was due yesterday to hear argument from Advocate Teffo on jurisdiction, but he had abandoned that.
I still reiterate that I think this is a protocol and the right protocol, because the matter belongs to the parties, to the state and the accused, not to the court. The court has to listen what the parties have agreed upon.
No.
There is agreement.
The court has to direct these proceedings. I cannot hear from the two of you. I have to direct my proceedings the way I know proceedings should run. And you cannot tell me how I should proceed. I should direct those proceedings. And I have told you, I need an explanation. I don't want a full explanation. I want to be told what is the position about the heads I expected, which I don't have on my table.
Exactly.
Even if it's one sentence, but I need to know what I'm doing so that the process is clear on my side. Not the way you want it, the way I will be able to handle it from my side.
Then Advocate Malesela Teffo wanted to introduce a letter from accused number 3 on claims of ill treatment, but the court was not impressed. Mthobisi Mncube was even called to the stand. Then Teffo quit.
May I be excused?
Well excused. Advocate Teffo, you derobe once you are out of the court. You don't derobe here from.
What happened yesterday, amongst others, we saw my colleague, Advocate Teffo, derobing after he had finished addressing the court, having withdrawn. It is an absolute no-no. You don't do that. You also do not speak disrespectfully towards your colleagues. Worse off, you do not address the judge in the parlance that he did. I would be very surprised if the Legal Practice Council doesn't do anything about it. They do not have to wait for a complaint to protect the integrity and the sanctity of the fraternity. They are the custodians of the rules and standards by which our conduct is gauged and is maintained. And even if the judge were or were not to complain about this, I would expect of our professional body to put out a directive or a notice out there to say this type of behavior is reprehensible.
It's going to cause a tremendous delay in the matter. As I said, the new legal representatives will have to familiarize themselves with the entire record and what has transpired thus far so that they can represent their clients properly. And an accused person, of course, has a constitutional right to legal representation. If you ask, has it thrown this case on its head? Yes, certainly, in terms of a delay point of view. As you correctly point out, the Senzo Meyiwa's death took place in 2014 already, and this is 8 years later, and halfway through the trial now, there's going to be a substantial delay in the matter. So, unfortunately for the families, they will not have closure soon.
The Legal Practice Council has confirmed that Advocate Teffo is already under investigation. While the case will resume on August the 2nd, it will be known then if the 4 accused will have secured legal counsel. Criselda Lewis, SABC News in Johannesburg.